You know, we are absolutely swimming in content every single day. But how much of it actually sticks with you? How often do you find something that doesn't just tell you a fact, but actually connects with you and sparks a little bit of wonder? That's the real trick. Today, we're going to pull apart a blueprint that's designed to do exactly that.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? How on earth do you make something that resonates with a kid in Canada, a grandparent in Japan, and a young adult in Europe, all at the same time? It's not just about pushing out information, it's about creating a shared experience that feels human.
Well, it turns out there might actually be a formula for this kind of magic. We stumbled upon this incredible creative brief that lays out a blueprint for connection. And today, we're going to break it down piece by piece. And here it is. This is our source material for today, a creative guide for a project called EduJoyWorld. Let's just treat this as our case study, a little peek behind the curtain at how truly global, joyful, and educational content gets made from the ground up. So what's at the heart of this whole thing? Well, it all comes down to this idea of EduJoy. The philosophy is super clear. Learning should never feel like a chore. It has to be driven by pure joy and curiosity. The content needs to feel warm and inspiring and honestly, visually magical. But it also has to be smart, giving you simple explanations that have really deep meaning. And maybe most importantly, it has to be for everybody, no matter who you are, where you are, or how old you are. Okay, but a great philosophy is one thing. You need a solid structure to bring it to life, right? Well, this blueprint proposes a very specific 7-step story formula. It's designed to take you, the viewer, on this complete journey that engages both your heart and your mind. That's right, it's not random. It's a carefully crafted path. It's designed to lead you from curiosity to connection and finally to a real sense of inspiration. So let's take a look at the map for this journey. And this is just brilliant. It lays out the entire path. First, you start with a powerful hook that just grabs your attention. Then, you introduce the subject, not as a topic, but as a living, breathing character. You get to explore their world, their challenges, their secrets, and you find those relatable human moments to connect with. Now, here's the key. Only after you've built that connection, that empathy, do you deliver the core education, because now the lesson lands with so much more impact. After that, you zoom out to get perspective, seeing the bigger picture, before you conclude on this high note of hope and joy. It's just a perfect narrative arc. But look, a great story is only half the battle. This blueprint argues pretty strongly that the real magic, the thing that makes it all unforgettable, happens with the visuals. And I have to pause here because the source document literally says this in all caps. Very important. So this isn't just an afterthought, you know? The visual language is a non-negotiable core part of the entire strategy. It's what turns information into a genuine experience. So what does this visual magic actually look like? We're talking Ultra HD, 3D, seriously cinematic quality. The brief insists on vivid, vibrant, joyful colors and this soft lighting that creates a feeling of magical realism. And at its core, it's all about diverse, multicultural characters with deep, authentic facial expressions. All of it is brought to life with smooth, dynamic camera work. This is how you make learning feel like you're watching a blockbuster movie. It's incredible. So when you put it all together side by side, you see this massive shift. It's night and day, really. We're moving away from that old-school, text-heavy, rote fact learning that makes you just a passive viewer. The EduJoy method, it's all about visual storytelling, building an emotional connection, and sparking your own active curiosity. It's the difference between being lectured at and actually going on an adventure. And one of the most clever tools they use in this visual arsenal is the metaphor. I mean, how do you explain something that's super complex or abstract? You turn it into something we can actually see and relate to. For example, instead of some dry, boring diagram of an organ from a textbook, what if you saw it as a bustling, living city with cars and workers and everything? Instead of just a list of facts about an animal, what if you saw it as a noble hero on a quest? And what about abstract emotions like joy or sadness? Well, here they become these colorful, tangible characters you can actually see. It's just a brilliant way to make really complex ideas stick in your brain. Okay, so we've got the philosophy, we have the story structure, we have the visual magic, but why? What's the ultimate goal here? What is all this careful planning and production really for?
It all comes down to this really interesting balance. The number one goal, no surprise, is to educate. That's 40% of the focus. But check this out. Inspiring curiosity and entertaining the viewer are seen as almost equally important, each getting 30%.
It's this recognition that for education to really truly work, it also has to be engaging. It has to make you want to learn more on your own.
And at the end of the day, this is the feeling they want you to walk away with. It's not just about what you know after watching, but about how you feel. The whole point is to leave you feeling a sense of joy, a moment of thoughtfulness, and a deeper connection to the world and to other people.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big final thought. Sure, this blueprint is for a specific project, but the principles behind it are universal. And it just makes you wonder, what would our world look like if every single learning experience was designed from the ground up, not just to transfer information, but to create a genuine sense of joy? What if?